Will you at the very least commit today that DHS will cooperate with the investigation by local authorities in New York of Mr. Sha Alam's death? Yes or no?
Which case are you talking about, sir?
Sha Alam, the one who was released.
We will certainly look at that, but I want you to know that the investigations...
Will you cooperate with the local authorities? Yes or no?
I don't conduct the investigations that are outside of within the umbrella of ICE and CBC.
I'll take that as a no.
Kristi Noem oversaw a lot of transgressions under her watch, including the unfortunate tragedy that took place with Nurul Shah Alam, a blind and disabled man who was left to die in the freezing cold by her officers. The story of this man, who should still be with us, is devastating. Sha Alam, who was 56 years of age, was in poor health when he was dropped off by Customs and Border Patrol agents at a Tim Hortons 5 miles away from his home in the freezing cold. His attorney and the family's attorney said he cannot use a phone, he doesn't know his address, he doesn't know phone numbers, he can't communicate, he can't see, and they just left him. Sha Alam arrived in Buffalo in 2024. This is a prime example of Trump's America and DHS under Stephen Miller's fantasies of hurting and endangering many people because they are a minority in this country. These are human rights abuses that must be and should be called out at every turn. Do not become normalized by this.
His body was found about 4 miles away from the coffee shop where he was left shortly after his release from jail, the Buffalo Police Department said. He had spent much of the previous year in custody, awaiting trial on criminal charges that were ultimately resolved with a misdemeanor plea, the Erie County District Attorney told CNN. Body cam footage shows police officers arresting Sha Alam last February, after they received a call about a man trespassing. After a confrontation in which he raises 2 poles towards officers, Alam is tasered and arrested before being taken away in an ambulance. His son told Reuters the arrest was the result of a misunderstanding with police, saying he was using a curtain rod as a walking stick when he got lost and wandered onto private property, and did not understand officers' commands to drop the pole. As his discharge was being processed, deputies contacted Border Patrol, who had previously placed an immigration detainer on him, according to the sheriff's office. A federal law enforcement official said that after learning he was not eligible for removal, Border Patrol agents attempted to communicate with Sha Alam using a translator program. The official said he asked to be taken to the location where he was ultimately dropped off. Temperatures were just above freezing for at least the next 24 hours. His family and their attorney say they were not notified of where he was dropped off. Buffalo Mayor Sean Ryan criticized immigration officers.
The Border Patrol officers had no protocol of what to do with a disabled man who doesn't speak English, who is confused and lost. And you know what they did? They dropped him at a closed coffee shop.
ICE, the Department of Homeland Security, the Trump administration has zero credibility. Zero credibility. Yeah. And so that's why we need an independent, full-scale, transparent investigation of why there is a refugee here legally who fled persecution, who fled oppression, came to the United States with his family for a better life, and is now dead. Dropped off at a coffee shop on a cold winter's night in Buffalo. His family was not notified. His family waited 5 days, filed an incident report, could not find this man. He couldn't speak English. He couldn't communicate. And yet, because of failed policies, they dropped him off and to fend for himself miles from his home. Yeah. So protocol certainly is called into question. Process certainly is called into question.
Before proceeding, let's revisit the police arrest of Sha Alam. He's completely blind in one eye and has blurry vision for several feet in the other. In need of a walking stick, he managed to find his way down the block to a shop that sold curtain rods, where he purchased one. Curtain rod in hand, Sha Alam strolled his Black Rock neighborhood until the weather turned colder, per his attorney and the family attorney. He attempted to walk home, but confused, ended up at a stranger's house instead. He was on someone's porch, and when they went to walk their dog, they found Alam right there, and they decided to call the police, who showed up. Per the family attorney, police ordered him to drop his curtain rod, but Sha Alam wasn't able to understand them or even see them clearly. After not complying with repeated orders, the two cops tased him, tackled him, and beat him.
The key issue here seems to be a miscommunication on whose part we're still trying to figure out as to which immigration agency was going to take custody of Mr. Shah Alam after he was released from the holding center. His attorneys believed it was ICE who was going to take custody of him, and so they were waiting for him at the local ICE detention center the next day to get him out. His attorneys had confirmed, in fact, that ICE did not want custody of him. ICE's attorneys said, we don't want this guy. In fact, it was Border Patrol who the Erie County Sheriff's Office called. They took him. In their system, saw that ICE didn't want to have custody of him. And then instead of, in their words, releasing him from the Border Patrol station, gave him a quote unquote courtesy ride to the closed Tim Hortons. My colleague was there the other day and confirmed that while the drive-through of that coffee shop was open, the lobby was not. He was not able to enter and sit down in the quote unquote warm, safe location that Border Patrol said it was. He then wandered the city for several days. When the 911 call came in, the woman who called said that she had seen him 3 hours earlier alive, but did not call until 3 hours later when he was dead.
He was arrested, and the family would weigh their options of whether to bail him out or not. Their biggest fear was that ICE was just going to take him. So when all was said and done, after spending a year in this facility and Alam was bailed out, no one knew where he was until this happened. The Erie County Sheriff's Office contacted Border Patrol, which took custody of Sha Alam for about 4 hours. The family attorney believes he was held at the Border Patrol station in the town of Tonawanda before agents drove him to the Tim Hortons in Black Rock. That was essentially his death sentence, which would lead to this. New York Attorney General Letitia James is investigating the death of Sha Alam, the blind refugee who passed days after CBP dumped him without coordinating with his family or lawyers. She would write to Representative Tim Kennedy in a letter, this is the AG, "The loss of life under these circumstances demands a searching and independent assessment of what occurred. I also agree that a close examination of release and transfer protocols of vulnerable individuals from law enforcement custody is warranted." The Washington Post. Coletta Shah, a representative for the family, said that after arriving in the United States, Sha Alam lived with his wife and 2 sons in an apartment on the city's east side. Coletta Shah would say they came here seeking home, and home killed him. I have said it many times, and I will say it once more. This is the playbook. This is what they are doing. It is by design. It is by Stephen Miller's design. It is by DHS's design. This is what they are trying to do. This is what they want. And we are seeing it play out in real time. Hey, I appreciate you watching. Now, if you can, please do become a channel member by going to youtube.com/TYTsports and clicking the join button. If that's too much for you, you can just go to tyt.com/join to become a member. It helps all of us out here at the Young Turks and keeps our network afloat. In addition, you could follow me on my socials on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Appreciate the love. Have a great day.